I just went to see a friend who's in jail, in prison. And, who's in jail or prison? He's incarcerated, though it's in a laid-back unit. He's in a minimum security transitional unit. And, I showed up earlier today because my understanding was the visiting hours were a certain time, and when I showed up, the guard very quickly told me to get out because I was too early. So I left, and I didn't stick around to check in. I left and came home, and I even recorded a quite angry video about my own frustrations with going out of my way to help other people, to be patient and kind and long-suffering. And I understand such things need to be done without expectation of reciprocity. But that's what happens, is that so many of my relationships with other people end up being that sort of charitable kind of love, that agape love. And you find yourself wishing for reciprocity, but there really isn't any. And I was honestly, I still am kind of getting tired of it. And okay, so being on camera is performative, but I'm trying to not be performative. And what I'm trying to say is I don't do kind things to be performative. I don't do it to be liked. I do it because there's an ideal that I try to hold myself to. And, there's a difference between what I want and what I ought to do. And I wish I could just do what I want and just be satisfied with that, instead of thinking about ought. In any case, I did go back just now and visited my friend, and it was good to see him. I didn't have much to talk about. It felt awkward because he and I never really talked about very much. We're more of a drink and sing karaoke and party and that kind of thing. And he's a guy who's always supported me since I started trying this, my lame ass attempt at being a karaoke KJ and running music and so on. So, he supported me, so I'm supporting him, right? It took a lot of courage. It took all the courage I had to go back, because I expected something bad to happen. Now, I get it. If you're in a transitional housing unit, a lot of the people there, they're nearing the end of their sentence. And there's every incentive to not screw up, to not do bad things. Even if you are feeling like you want to do something nasty, you have every reason to not do something nasty, because you want to get out of there. You want to go back to living your life, right? Whatever life you plan on having, I get it. And there's other people there. Let me just acknowledge that, maybe they are truly repentant about some bad thing they did, and they wouldn't want to do anything nasty anyways, right? They're just waiting to get back to life and try to start over and have a good life. And I wish a good life for all of them, because I think prisons are immoral. I think prisons are evil institutions. That being said, I know that a lot of people who end up in prison are quite unpleasant, and I trigger certain members of that unpleasant subpopulation because I have a facial tic and I'm autistic, so my body language is off, so I constantly look like I have the pre-fight jitters, like some nervous person, and because they have an underdeveloped prefrontal cortex, or they're just predisposed to violence, or both. Certain segments of the population want nothing more than to hurt me, and it's more about restoring order. It's about like, hey, I'm this unpredictable thing. Looks like he's having pre-fight jitters. Either you got to beat my ass down, or you have to somehow establish your dominance so that you have a perception of order, right? So you don't feel threatened. Kind of a lousy superpower to have, that I can go into a room with the most powerful, comfortable person in the room, and then they become uncomfortable because I'm there. Even though I'm obviously not a fighter. I'm obviously not violent. I'm obviously not powerful. I'm poor. I'm not charismatic. I have nothing to compete with anyone with. Yet I somehow can unnerve the most. Not the most, but someone who seems to be secure. Or maybe they're not really secure. Maybe the genuinely secure people don't mind me. It's the people who performatively are secure, but then I unnerve them. And I think that makes more sense. Whereas it's easy to be secure if you're in a position of power. I'm sure the guards at the prison inside their little armored box that I checked in at today, didn't feel the least bit bothered by me because, they're on one side of the glass, I'm on the other side of the glass. And, if there was trouble, then obviously they could just call for help, and then, the heavy hitters will come in to deal with it. So, they have the prison badge, they can be authoritative, and they're comfortable. But it's different when you're on a more equal footing, I assume. So, where am I getting to with this? What am I getting to with my story here? I got to wrap it up because it seems to meander, and I'm sure it's hard for a lot of people to follow. I did the thing I said I would do. I visited my friend in jail. And I'm supporting him because he supported me. And whatever he did wrong, if he did wrong, again, he didn't do it to me. And so that's why I went. And I am fatigued at having to get out of my comfort zone to do the things I think I ought to do, even though I don't want to do them. Because I know there's almost never going to be reciprocity for that. People will come to help you if they want to, but not if they ought to. It'd be like I knew someone with ADHD who had problem with executive functioning when it came to the things they ought to do, but not with the things they wanted to do. And I know that I wasn't on the list of want to do. So, explains that relationship. That's okay. I'm going to keep plugging away. I'm going to keep plugging away at life. Yeah, but I was genuinely terrified when I went there early today. But I'm glad that I rallied. And even though I wasted gas and had to buy a second sandwich, right? I bought a sandwich and went there with it for him, left, came back with another sandwich. I wasted a lot of money today. I did it. I did the thing I was supposed to do. I guess I can call that a victory, but I don't feel good about it. I just feel like I didn't fail. I didn't chicken out. I'm not a coward today. It's very anticlimactic in a way. Thank you for watching.